former New South Wales Labor MP Ernest Wong has been accused of selling a table at a fundraising dinner to a Chinese billionaire who was a prohibited donor, then trying to cover it up by claiming the money came from a number of fake donors. Let's go live now to Caroline Marcus, who has been at the ICAC hearing today. Caroline, Mr Wong has now been accused of lying to the Commission a number of times.
That's right, Chris. It is not looking good for Ernest Wong. This is his third day on the stand at the ICAC, and the third day he's been accused of giving false and misleading evidence to the Commission. Now, his questioning centres on what he knew about a $100,000 donation in an Aldi plastic bag that was delivered to New South Wales Labor Party headquarters back in 2015 following a Chinese fundraising dinner held that year. The bag had been delivered by the prohibited donor and Chinese billionaire Huang Xiangmo, but under cross-examination today by the former General Secretary Kayla Manaine, well, she's now been dumped by the party following her evidence at the ICAC. Under questioning by her silk, Ian Neal, Mr Wong denied that he knew that Mr Xiangmo was Mr Huang was the true source of that donation. He was asked, the true state of affairs as you sold the head table for the Chinese Friends of Labor in 2015 to Mr Huang Xiangmo, correct? Mr Wong replied no. He was then asked, you sold that table for $100,000. You sought to cover that up with fake donors. No was the response. And then he was asked, and you were assisted in that cover-up by Mr Yi and Dr Liao. Again, the response, Chris, was no. Now, Jonathan Yi and Dr Liao were prominent members of the Chinese community. Dr Liao actually took his own life last year before he was due to give compulsory evidence at the ICAC. The Commission is investigating whether donation laws were broken by New South Wales Labor, which claimed that a dozen donors were behind that $100,000 donation. But also interesting today, Chris, was the fact that two-time New South Wales Labor leader hopeful Chris Minns was brought up today in questioning of Mr Wong. It was put to him that the then General Secretary of the party, Jamie Clements, back in 2015, had set specific targets for fundraising for Mr Wong, and that was in order to help Mr Minns' campaign. Now, Mr Wong was tight-lipped as he walked into the hearing this morning. Mr Wong, are you going to try and give truthful evidence today? How likely is it that Mr Huang was acting as a delivery man? The cross-examination of Mr Wong continues, with Kayla Manaine set to be recalled for further cross-examination later this week.